How's it going, everyone? Marriland here, and oh boy, has there been a lot of news today. So, it's official. The new type, the 18th type, is indeed Fairy type. Now, there have already been several Pokemon absolutely confirmed as Fairy type, but it seems like other Pokemon will be as well. First and foremost, Sylveon is a Fairy type evolution. That's pretty cool. But other Pokemon that are already in existence, they have been reclassified as Fairy types. Some of the ones that have been officially shown are Jigglypuff, Gardevoir, and Marill. Oh yeah, Marill is now a Water Fairy type. How cool is that? I gained a second type, guys. Sweet. Now, on top of the new Fairy type Pokemon, there are a few new Fairy type attacks as well, being introduced into Pokemon X and Y. The first of these new attacks is called Moonblast, and it's shown by Sylveon in the trailer. What exactly it does is currently unknown, but it is known to be a Fairy type attack, and Fairy type attacks are super effective against Dragon type Pokemon. What else they're effective against we don't yet know, but we do know it is confirmed to be super effective against dragons. Additionally, you can see Gardevoir, who's now a Fairy type, using Fairy Wind, which is, as the name implies, a Fairy type attack. It uses it against a Hydreigon, and it obviously hits for a lot of damage. Now, what this also helps prove is that Dark does not resist Fairy in any way, because otherwise it wouldn't be super effective against Hydreigon. Additionally, some of the screenshots show it being super effective against Salamence, who's part Flying type, meaning it's also not affected by flying at all. Anyway, these are the only Fairy type Pokemon that have been officially revealed as of this point. However, it's very likely, in fact, if not a given, that they're going to make other existing Pokemon part Fairy type now. A lot of these that have been speculated are, of course, Clefairy, Clefable, and Cleffa. There's also been the speculation of Mawile turning into Steel Fairy, which could be interesting. The Sinnoh Lake trio of Azelf, Uxie, and Mesprit could all conceivably turn into Fairy types, given the fact they were kind of modeled after fairies in the first place. Togepi, Togetic, and Togekiss could all conceivably become Fairy types as well. I mean, after all, they are in the Fairy Egg group, and I have a feeling a lot of Pokemon who are in the Fairy Egg group are viable candidates to become Fairy type Pokemon. Of course, there are a few legendary Pokemon who don't quite fit into the Fairy Egg group who would be interesting to see as Fairy type, such as Celebi, Jirachi, Manaphy, and even Landform Shaman. There are also a lot of moves that could now be associated with Fairy type Pokemon as well. The Fairy type moves that we've seen seem to be focused more on the moon and stuff like that, so Moonlight is definitely an obvious choice. Perhaps things like Wish or Healing Wish, they could be included as well, although it wouldn't really have that much relevancy, since they don't do damage or anything. What about Swift, which is called Speed Star in Japanese? That could be a fit for it. It's kind of weird being normal anyway. And then there's always Trump Card, which, not the greatest move in the world, but Sylveon was most likely shown using it in the first trailer, showing Sylveon. So perhaps it's becoming a Fairy type move as well. Anyway, let me know in the comments what Pokemon you think would be cool as a Fairy type, or what move you think would be cool as a Fairy type move. I'd love to hear it. Anyway, be sure to check out my website at Marriland.com, where you'll find tons of Pokemon X and Y coverage, all compiled into a nice little section for you. In fact, you can find that directly at Marriland.com/Pokemon-XY. It's really neat. And if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to me as well, simply so that way you'll know when the newest Pokemon X and Y videos are out. I also have some other stuff you might like. Anyway, I will see you next time, everyone!